Just before this video starts, I do want to mention that I have a Discord server. Join if you want to, suggest new video ideas, or come hang out with us. And if you like what you see here today, you'll like pretty much everything else on my channel, so why not subscribe? Thanks. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. Seems that we're talking about this guy once again. And yeah, I know your boy's not beating the milking allegations anytime soon. But what can I say? I like to fight slop with slop. Anyways, this video, believe it or not, was supposed to be about Ben Shapiro's review on Superman, which I thought I'd include later on in this video. But what originally tipped me off to this channel again was a viewer by the name of Liam. They told me that I should go check the video out, and that this creator, as usual, just got on camera to be even more of an idiot. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at first. And of course, before even watching this guy's video, just the simple fact that I knew it was about Ironheart, and also knowing what this guy's channel was about, one could have almost predicted the BS that would come out of his mouth.
So, I haven't watched Ironheart, and I really do not plan to. From all the teasers, trailers, posters, interviews, and clips I've seen, it looks terrible. I don't think that's a shock to anybody. You could tell that just by seeing that it's a race swap.
Dude, look, I know I said something about your eyebrows the first time I talked about you, but I don't know who told you to get bangs. This whole edgy look isn't really giving off the message that you're trying to convey, but I mean, hey, your setup, your rules, man. Honestly, that's just the first reason why I stopped the video. The second reason is the fact that he said that he didn't watch Ironheart, but is already doing a review on it. I don't really know how you could confidently say that and then title your video, Ironheart is the end of Marvel. It almost just seems like you're lying for hate clicks, which, hey, if you ask anybody with a brain in between their ears, textbook grifter behavior.
They swapped Iron Man. Just like the comics of this character, nobody watched this show. Nobody read Riri Williams. Same way nobody likes Miles Morales. The thing is, they put out campaigns to trick people into believing that these characters are a success. Like Miles Morales had his own comic run and he appeared in tons of stuff. Nobody liked him until he was put into a movie with several other cooler characters.
What I notice when subjects like this come up when we talk about race swapped characters, quote unquote, is that a lot of people will bring up Miles Morales and compare that to whatever current situation is going on. In my opinion, they only do this because they're mad that Miles Morales ended up a total success, something that when the character first came out, they probably didn't think would happen. Miles Morales just wasn't thrown into a movie with other characters. That was his movie, and the other Spider-Men like Penny, Spider-Man Noir, and Spider-Ham were just side characters. On top of that, before the movie came out, Miles already had a fan base and was popular among comic book readers, but what really pushed him into the mainstream was the movie, so now he's a lot more popular than he once was. That's kind of how that works. You take a comic book character who has some notoriety, give them a movie or a video game, and if those products are good, then the character tends to get a lot of fans. Miles Morales appearing in tons of stuff doesn't just happen because he doesn't have a following or because he's a character that nobody likes. A lot of people like the character beforehand.
And I've no doubt in my mind that Ironheart here will be appearing in an Avengers movie, and they'll try to play it off as every single person loves Riri Williams, when in reality they like the characters around her. But what am I even saying, talking about what characters people like and don't like? Marvel is a husk of its former self. And I'm not talking about the movies, I'm talking about the comics, because a legend has just passed away. Jim Shooter is the man that probably made Marvel what it is today. He was the editor on every single major Marvel comic book. The dude got into the industry when he was 15. I'll talk more in a second about his talent and how much impact he had. But really, my point is that this guy, he wasn't really left wing or right wing. He allowed the writers to do anything in their stories as long as it was to entertain. But just recently, he came out against characters like Ironheart. Race swaps, gender swaps, twisted versions of classic characters.
I don't think they know what business they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the business ostensibly of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be like far down on their list of agenda.
Things that nobody wants, and he'd know because he created everything that you know and love today at Marvel. And
notice how there's no source for this clip in the slightest anywhere. If you watch the video I made about him when he talked about Captain America, you should know this is a regular thing for him. This was from a YouTube short posted by Rodimus Primal, and Jim Shooter wasn't talking about Riri Williams. He was talking about how there was a shift in modern storytelling, especially regarding social justice, and how it's become more preachy than anything. This wasn't about race swaps or gender swaps or even Riri Williams. You're just lying to your fans again.
They want to sell to.
I don't think they know what business they're in.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the business ostensibly of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be like far down on their list of agenda. They want to preach their various social justice things. Mm-hmm. And even if you agree with them, it's the preaching part I object to. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants, it becomes propaganda. No, and I don't care if you agree with every word of it. Nobody wants to read propaganda.
Right.
You know, tell me a story. How about a good story, folks?
I want a good story.
And then on top of that, this is Marvel and DC and some other companies too. You know, they've sort of descended into, I don't know, puerile stuff. I mean, it's, you know, I'm not sure that's really where the heart of your market is. And it doesn't seem to be so much about, you know, tell a good story, tell it well anymore. And that's been the secret of success in the storytelling business for 40,000 years, and it will be for the next 40,000.
We just want good stories.
Ironheart is now certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes with a score of 85%. Are you shitting me? Take a look at this. Why are you lying? This is not anywhere near the truth. Oh, so it has 85%. It's a success, is it? Look at the audience rating. 56%. Barely half. And the excuses will be review bombing and these are just haters. No, these are the fans that read the original Marvel comics and don't want to see Tony Stark as a little black girl from the hood.
It's not Tony Stark. I don't know how many times people have to keep telling people like this that Riri Williams isn't Tony Stark. Even if you don't mean it literally, it just sounds like you're missing a couple of chromosomes. Also, why on earth would they ever include reviews that were happening before the show even came out? It really wouldn't make sense to add in reviews from people who are just like you. People who lead a miserable life of hating things before they even come out, or even before you watch them. At the very least, Nerdrotic watched Ironheart. His review didn't make much sense because it was just full of criticisms that had nothing to do with the show, but that's just a grifter for you.
Here are some of the retarded people that I'm talking about. Seeing Ironheart proving everybody wrong is so refreshing. It's proved absolutely nobody wrong. What we thought it was is exactly what it is. We was Tony Stark. Hey, do you want to see Marvel humor mixed with hood slang? Every single episode is just preachy BLM garbage. We have another spastic here talking about the 85% rating bullcrap. You gotta factor in the racism and misogyny tax, so really it's 95%. It's people like this that are the scum of the earth. There's no tax. As I said, it's just the fans, and even if it wasn't, it's what you deserve for making slop like this that is purely made in hatred of white people. That's the entire show's point. It's not superheroism, it's not hopefulness, it's not trying to be badass. It's just I Hate White People, the TV show. And screw all the people all across the internet like this who are saying crap like it's a misogyny and racism tax. That's what you get when you race swap and gender swap beloved characters, and it's what you deserve. Nobody wants to see Hood Iron Man being a disgusting bitch.
So are you just gonna ever give us any examples of how this show is anti-white, or are you just gonna keep yapping on and on and on? I swear you said the same thing about the Captain America movie, and it didn't make sense back then, and it really doesn't make sense now. The reason why it doesn't make sense is because you don't give any examples that you would probably have even though the show isn't anti-white if you actually watch the show. This guy's just going off of trailers and audience reviews, trying to formulate his opinion off of what others think about it, others that have watched the show. Makes absolutely no sense. That's gonna be enough of Bella Ramsey's twin. Now we're gonna take a look at this 1 to 2 minute segment from Ben Shapiro's channel where he does talk about Superman, and just take a look at the clip.
In much, much lighter news, I just wanted to comment on the fact Superman is coming out this week. So of course, this is much lighter news. Superman, the new movie from James Gunn. I've been a little skeptical of it because I think that James Gunn, he's fine for Guardians of the Galaxy, but Superman is a more serious property. The reason that it's relevant politically is because when we talk about the left and the left in the media, and then we talk about the left in Hollywood, the level of out of touchness with the everyday American is truly insane, truly crazy. So James Gunn did an interview at the Times of London, and he was talking about the themes in Superman. And he explained that the superhero epic encompasses the story of America. He said, I mean, Superman is the story of America, an immigrant that came from other places and populated the country. But for me, it is mostly a story that says basic human kindness is a value and is something that we have lost. So he's now trying to make the case effectively that Superman is kind of an illegal immigrant. Gunn acknowledged the movie's themes may be interpreted differently across political groups, especially considering the nationwide unrest around immigration. However, Gunn stands by the ideals embedded in Superman and added he doesn't care if anyone takes offense. Yes, it plays differently, but it's about human kindness. And obviously there will be jerks out there who are just not kind and will take it as offensive just because it is about kindness. But screw them. And then he says, yes, it's about politics, but on another level, it's about morality. I do not understand the necessity for all of these Hollywood folks to undercut the pitch of their own film before it even comes out. It's insane. It's totally insane. By the way, David Corenswet did the exact same thing. Corenswet refused to say truth, justice, and the American way in a recent interview. Instead, he said truth, justice, and all that good stuff because he doesn't want to say the American way. The reality that Hollywood is so far to the left that they cannot take a core piece of Americana and just say it's about America. This has been a problem since basically after the original Christopher Reeve series. Every single iteration of Superman that's been made since then has avoided truth, justice, and the American way.
The movie hasn't come out yet. I hate how people make it so political, even though, in my opinion, I feel like it was James Gunn's fault for saying something like this, even though he's not wrong. Superman, the sole survivor of Krypton, immigrated to the United States. Now, even though Krypton doesn't have any countries or nations like how Earth does, even though when you look at maps of Krypton, they do have like little islands and stuff like that, they're all unified under one government. Something that's also pretty funny to think about too is that even if you wanted to make the argument that Superman is a refugee, he would still not only be illegal because he came here as a baby and wasn't born here, but Ma and Pa Kent would also be committing a federal crime. Point is, James Gunn isn't really wrong when he's saying that Superman is an immigrant. He came here without his papers and he just started living here. Now, I'm sure like later on down the line, he got his citizenship and whatnot, but I don't really see how this is Superman going woke. He's still holding on to his core values, or at the very least, that's not even going against what James Gunn said himself in the quote. A lot of people have hated and still continue to hate on this movie even before it's come out, which is something that I've never understood. And to be honest, I still won't understand it because trailers don't tell the full story. So if there was one final message that I'd have to give to you guys, it's just that you need to formulate your own opinions, all right? Don't go off of what other people might say online. Sure, you can take that into account in your final thoughts probably, but wait until you actually see the final product. Ultimately, I think it's a good thing that Riri Williams is carrying on the Stark legacy, and I feel like if the show gets another season, or at least if we see Riri Williams in some more Marvel properties, her character will get more development, which is something that I feel like is needed, especially after Ironheart season 1. And look, man, again, I've been really excited about this new Superman movie, especially because Nathan Fillion is in it and he's playing Guy Gardner. I don't think Guy Gardner Green Lantern has ever been in a live action setting, and I genuinely cannot wait to hear Cade Six voice a Green Lantern. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button. If you want more content similar to this, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Sub up, stay safe, and peace.